So, welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories series of interviews, where we discuss with local business leaders their backgrounds, their successes and challenges, and what's really driving them forwards. This morning, I'm delighted that we have with us Sarvin Clark, who's CEO and creative director at Sarvin. So, Sarvin, thank you so much for spending a bit of time with us. If you'd like to introduce yourself and what you do, your business, how you help people, that would be great.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me. It's my honor to be on your
Very
podcast.
welcome.
My name is Sarvin Clark. I'm based in Huddersfield, west of Yorkshire, and I run a company called Sarvin Design Ltd, which is basically Sarvin, my name. I came up with this name because it's a very unique name, even back in my country. So I'm originally Iranian. I was pretty much the only girl calling Sarvin in the whole school as well.
Well,
So when I decided to start my own company, I suggested to my husband, basically, actually, I turned around and said, "What name we should go with?" And he was like, "Sarvin." I'm like, "Yeah, but what name we should go with?" He was like, "Sarvin. You've always you've always been very unique. Why don't you just use your own name?" And that's how we came about our
brilliant.
company name, Sarvin. I never thought one day I would get it to where it is now. But I definitely would tell you that it wasn't an easy journey, and it still isn't. Like everyone think, like you have your own beautiful fashion and a design kind of company. You would just be every day in the colorful dresses, and you were just having like a very kind of fun journey, traveling, fashion shows, Paris, here, there. No, I would say that it's mainly kind of like admin and kind of building the business. That pretty things are like maybe like 10 or 20% of the business, where you kind of get to enjoy just being in public and seeing people and seeing customers and everything like that. But that's not what I'm trying to get here to scare you. I just want to say it's not just a flashy thing about people think about fashion.
Yeah.
It's a lot more to running a fashion company.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's like any business. We only see the front, the customer facing side, but there's so
yeah,
much hard work that goes into starting it, building it, running it. So if we start, if you tell us a little bit more about your background, how you got into business and why this particular one, Sarvin.
sure. My dad actually used to own a manufacturing company, clothing company. And again, coming from an Asian Iranian family, they wanted us to be a doctor. And we are actually three siblings, and none of us became a doctor. I mean, they pushed my brother, which is 10 years younger than me. They even sent him to England to the best college in Manchester. They spent fortune in accommodation and like flashy places for him to study. But then after a year, he was like, "Mom, Dad, this is not for me." So he went on to IT and computer route.
Brilliant.
Um, so yeah, I always wanted to do something in fashion because I remember when I was a little girl, my dad would take me to the manufacturers and I would see all these threads and buttons. And I remember I would just get my clothes full of lots of different colors of buttons and I would bring them home and I would just lay them and play with them. And I always was around like manufacturers and clothes and fabrics. And gosh, I just don't let me even get into fabric because that's just my favorite part of the business. Just the colors, and also just to add, even though my parents are both Iranian, I grew up in India, because that's where my dad decided to start his company. And well, prior to that, he got his PhD in business, and mom got her engineering in India, and they fell in love. They got married, very simple, just friends.
Lovely.
And at a time in Iran, there was a war between Iran and Iraq, so they were not planning to go back anytime soon. So they got married there, and they had well, every time they wanted to give birth, I don't know why they would go back to Iran. My sister is born in Iran, which is 4.5 years older than me. Then they went back to India, and my dad started his own business by buying Indian clothes, like more like a comfortable sari or like pregnancy like a very kind of comfy kind of clothes,
Yes.
and it in Iran. And he started with just like 20, 30 garments. Then it turned out to be a company of 200 staff.
Wow.
He did really well in that manner, and that's why he didn't want us to do it because he said it was a nightmare working with
Yes.
different language, different people, different country, and in general, just running your own company. So he did that for 25 years. Then they decided to settle in Iran and have a kind of more like an easy kind of life.
Perfect.
Yeah, sold the manufacturing company, which they recently they started talking about it. You know what we should start doing again? I'm like, you guys said you would never do that again.
Lovely.
That's how I know Hindi as well. I speak fluent in Hindi. Then when while growing up, they wanted us to go and study abroad. I mean, Iran was a very kind of hard environment for us because we lived in a very kind of open country. And when we came back, Iran and Iraq, obviously, war were finished. And then, as you know, our king left Iran and Islamic Republic start. Don't
Yes.
want to get too much into politics, but
Yes.
basically, from free, we became full-on hijab, which
Yes.
that was kind of massive shift for many Persian people.
Yeah.
So that's why my family they didn't want us to stay in Iran because there was not much future for women unfortunately due to that. So there's so many
Yeah.
courses, so many things that women wanted to do we were not able to do. It's nothing wrong with hijab or Islam. It's just the limitation for women. It's extremely
Yeah.
low in Iran for anything they want to kind of pursue as a career, especially at a time. So they send us to Cyprus. I mean, we had any option that we wanted to go. Went for holiday in Cyprus and I loved it there. So we decided, I decided to study in Cyprus, American University. I did my bachelor degrees there. Then I decided to do my master's. That's where I moved to England. And yeah, the destiny brought me here. When I moved here, as soon as I finished my master's, I started working for a couple of companies as internship first. I did 1 year free internship with two different companies. Then my boyfriend at the time, which is my husband now for 12 years, proposed me. We got married, and there we are.
Goodness.
It's all over the place. But it's been, I mean, my kind of background in terms of my university and studying and living abroad has been the highlight of my life because of that I can speak fluent, obviously Turkish now as well because I lived in North Cyprus.
Yeah.
I learned their language fully as well, so I can speak 5, 6 languages, and I'm blessed that my family give me that opportunity to be able to do that.
Wow. What an amazing story. And obviously you've founded Sarvin the business and you've grown that. And what are some of the key challenges you've had to overcome as you've grown the business?
Oh, there are quite many. I started the company without having any kind of knowledge about obviously HMRC, how to run a company, how to register a company. And this is why like any person comes to me is like, oh, I want to start this, I want to start that. I always tell them like, just don't jump into it. Do your research, even if you can get a mentor or coach to help you, especially in the initial steps to guide you how to set up your company because I did everything from scratch and that cost me a lot of money working with unfortunately wrong people or not right people for my company and just being very kind of naive that it's just as easy as just putting your foot down and having a business. So there's a lot, as I said, it's a lot more to it than just running a company. It's the initial steps that were the one that I kind of at a time struggled with, and I learned them in a really hard way. And the second thing, working with the right people in your journey. I find it quite hard to find the right seamstress, pattern maker, and I think building a initial kind of team is extremely important.
Yeah.
It's more important than just kind of just going forward and running the business. I think you got to have a right people. You don't have to hire them. That's something again I learned in a way you can work with the freelancers
Yes.
or work on a contract. There's so many way of hiring people rather than just having them employed, which that scares many people from running
Yes.
company because they're like, oh, I don't know, I don't know how to pay for the pension, I don't know how to pay for this and that. I don't know, like, what should I do if I want to employ someone? Because basically, you're going to be paying double of the salary. So when you're starting, it's best to work with freelance or contract to kind of gain the experience and learn and just kind of get your ground built on your business. Then you
Yes.
can go forward with it. And I think, yeah, that was the second challenge. And third, I wish if the time would go back, I would definitely get like a coach or mentor to the many mistakes that I did, like such as like a simple one, like when you're creating your tech pack, the details that you need to put in, like how crucial some of the informations are. And I was missing them out, which I thought the company manufacturer should already know about that, like such as the thread color and stuff. But even those like little thing, the mentor can help you and help tell you that, like literally every um kind of part of the business that you just don't see it because you're in it, they can oversee it and tell you. Yeah, I think they were like the big one, like finding the right people was, I think, the biggest challenge I had.
Yeah, very true. And we're seeing it still across all the industries and the clients we work with, where finding the right people is a challenge. It's difficult to find and keep great people. And what would you say the biggest things you've learned about growing a business?
The biggest thing I learned, be patient, which I never was.
Ah,
Yeah, I want everything to be very quickly done, and I'm always like a very kind of excited person. I want everything um to be quickly done and just get it out there and show it to people and get their feedback. But unfortunately, that it doesn't work like that. Even though that we in technology is a lot higher at the moment that you'll be able to do that. But I would say definitely take your time. Do not quit your full-time job. I was very again fortunate at the time I had a part-time job to be able to build Sarvin next to it, but many people don't have. So just put your hours in the evening or weekend,
yeah,
and just get the basic knowledge and just write down like what I've started doing in the past few years that I've always have like a to-do list, and I've got call it priority one, priority two, priority three. And if you're running a company, if you want to start a business from scratch, right, start writing the priorities and start working on your prototype, on your tech pack, and just unless you're not 100% sure and you're not confident in your design, don't go and start doing it.
mm,
Yes, you can create a sample, but it's just it all add up cost. So make sure you have a grant for your prototype, you have a grant for your take pack before start working with any kind of manufacturers or anything, because then
yeah,
you can't blame them if there is any mistake that you haven't added. And also ask people's opinion. That's something else that it is like, especially like when you're having your logo and your design practicality, like are they comfortable if it's in, especially if it's in a fashion. Ask around. There's no harm in asking.
yeah,
Obviously, not everyone's opinion going to be same as you, but at least you gather some sort of information.
yes,
Like we just recently working on the brand I'm currently working with. We both didn't see any issue with the logo and we both loved it, but asking from other people, they found a couple of issues in it which we didn't see, and that was great because
yeah.
we kind of adjusted and made them right. So there's nothing wrong with asking people and their opinions.
No, that makes perfect sense. And you mentioned mentors and coaches. Obviously we're a coaching organization. I'm keen to know who the best mentors or coaches that you've worked with historically, whether that's business, sport, life in general. Who's had the biggest impact on your business and your life?
To be honest, a few people. The main one actually I started kind of working with. It was like until like last year. No, to be honest, like until like this mid year to this year as well. A guy called Neil Jagger, and he is based in Huddersfield. So he actually had his couple of businesses previously. I'm not sure if you know him.
No, I don't.
He had a great impact, and I used to meet up with him. Extremely knowledgeable guy, very patient, very nice person, and he kind of helped me with seeing the issues that I couldn't see. The
Great.
reason why I named him first because he was someone from outside of the family,
Yeah.
uh, so he was kind of very transparent to me, not considering my kind of feelings or the financial or anything like that. He would just be honest with me and tell me where the problem is. And
Yes.
I think that's why it's sometimes good to kind of work with someone outside the family, even though some people are blessed, like myself. My dad was in
Yes.
when he was running a company for obviously 25 years.
Yes.
Yeah, still self-employed, and they have properties and stuff. But I was kind of blessed to even ask his advice, or my father-in-law, my husband's father as well. He used to work in a very kind of big company. My husband's grandfather. So I did have definitely a very
Right.
influential people in my life.
Great.
But I think working with someone outside the family, it just kind of was more like a wake-up call for me to see the issues and the things I need to work with. And he was telling me what to work on. So I would go away, sit down and focus on those bits, and kind of meeting up with him every 2 weeks to kind of implement those
Yeah.
issues that I wouldn't see. My family, they wouldn't see because they loved me.
Yes.
And kind of, yeah, just fixing it and working it through. I think that was really kind of good for Sarvin.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And do you have any favorite quotes or sayings that you catch yourself using a lot in business?
Yeah, I think there is one that the temptation to quit will be greater before you are about to succeed.
Yeah.
And that's exactly because that's what happened to me before I kind of give up on everything, because it was just too much pressure
Yeah.
of running a company, especially during COVID. I run an evening wear brand. So Sarvin, and sorry, I didn't tell much about Sarvin. So Sarvin is an evening wear brand, cocktail dresses, made in UK. So all the products are quite like affordable. I would call it affordable luxury.
Yeah.
Uh, and when COVID happened, not many people would go out.
Yeah.
I want them to go out
Yes.
to make money. So that was kind of the biggest challenge I went through. Then once the COVID finished, unfortunately, people fashion and everything changed. They became more of like a loungewear, comfortable clothes, and easy kind of wearing, plus going out less because the cost of living gone up.
Yeah.
So that was a kind of like a big shock to our system, because we would do a lot of like a wedding guests and
Yes.
more like in a proper, basically evening wear dresses. Um, so yes, I decided to just kind of step back and look at the changes, understand it, and adapt to it. That's something I'm doing now. And at the same time, I started mentoring a startup or small fashion businesses.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. And Sarvin, I'm keen to know what you've learned about yourself throughout your journey so far.
Um, the how patient I can be.
Ah, great.
I did not know I can be a patient person, because as I mentioned, I'm always like on the go. My life is always like boom, boom, do it, go. There is no like sitting and chilling. And I swear to God, like every time I sit down for 5 minutes and I've just got my phone, not my toddler around me running around. Just like it feels weird, and I feel guilty doing that. And I'm like, oh no, actually I should do something. I should not be sitting down. So yes, that's something I learned about myself, to be patient and
Yeah.
be in the moment. And like another thing I always struggled and I always challenge with is overthinking, because I always wanted to be better in everything I do. Even when I work with people, I want to kind of better their kind of business, or the problems they have, or anything. Could be friends, family, business, everything. So I always overthink everything. And that will lead me from waking up middle of the night, just sitting there. I'm like, oh, you know what? I can actually do this with this company, and I can go and do that. It's like 3 a.m., just sleep. Your toddler wakes you up at 5 a.m. Yes, that's something even like now I'm working on it. Um, yeah, that's something I learned about myself, that you don't have to be overthinker. You can still be patient and things will happen in the right time. Just put your mindset on it and write down, like, oh my God, I cannot stress enough about writing down. Like every time you take everything from your brain and you put it on the paper, it makes it more like visible for you to see what
Yep.
next to do. And mentally, that really helped me as well.
Yeah, brilliant. It's one of those things. It's really difficult sometimes to really see a way forward if we have too much in our head. So as you
Yeah.
said, just writing it down, that just helps just in that one thing. Write it all down, and all of a sudden it starts to feel like it's not as much as we think. I
Yeah.
I often find it's just, it's people say, I've got so much to do, I don't know where to start. We'll start with writing it down, and then you'll just see that there isn't as much as you thought, and an order in which you need to do things will probably appear.
And
Um,
also when you take it off, it's the best feeling in the world, I feel like.
Absolutely,
It's
absolutely,
like, oh, done that, yes, and like to the next. This is why, like, with the my iPhone reminder, it's my BFF, it's my best friend. Like, literally, I use it every single day,
brilliant.
every week. On Sunday, I sit down because I know that the week is starting, and my anxiety and my overthinking will start to. But by doing it, I've literally reduced it by 80%. This is why it's crucial every Sunday. Sit down, write down what I've got for solving to do, for my mentoring business to do, for my toddler to do, my
Brilliant.
pregnancy to do, and also in general for myself, for my health,
Yeah,
putting some time aside to exercise or just go for a little walk, and
yeah.
so I can help my mental health at the same time of working in a couple of businesses and stuff. I think that is very, very important.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, looking forward, what does the future hold for you guys, and what challenges do you think you might face, if any?
Oh, that's a very good question. So moving forward, I would definitely at the moment what I did, I paused for a few months and I didn't work on any new kind of design for Sarvin because I just wanted to kind of observe and just see what fashion it's going forward to be like. So that's something I did actually for, sorry, not for 3 months, for past 6 months, but I still was working on my own company as well, like trying to build more on the sales side, and also finding the right people to work with because the
Yeah,
the the previous people I was working with, unfortunately, they retired. So I need a seamstress, pattern maker, so the whole team from scratch again. And I just didn't want to kind of rush into it and get those people to working with, especially finding people in UK is 10 times more harder than finding people
yeah,
in Turkey, India, or abroad in general. Because I feel like it's the kind of for them, because they do a lot of manufacturing, it's a lot easier to have the team already and done. But
yes,
in the UK, unfortunately, the everything that has gone up, finding the right price, finding the right team, even the distance. Like we're based in Yorkshire, we're based in Huddersfield. Can I commute there? Can I see them regularly? Can I speak to them? Like all of these are very, very important. So that's something I just didn't want to rush into. As I said, like what I learned from Sarvin, to be patient. So moving forward, like I want to find the right team and then have like a new collection, hopefully launch it around Christmas time.
great,
That would be more adapted to the new kind of fashion and style that people are seeking for, which is more of a timeless. Previously, I've done timeless too. Like all my pieces, all solving designs are timeless. So nothing I do is trendy, but more of like a comfortable, easy kind of wear. That's what I'm kind of planning
yeah,
to do. And I will definitely be carry on working on my mentorship as well, and helping small businesses, because the joy I see them finding the right people, source of material and a team, it just brings so much joy to me. So I do really enjoy that part too.
brilliant.
That second thing, I want to kind of build on that on a side. And the challenges I'm gonna face, I don't know if I got anything in mind at the moment, but every day it's I feel like with everything going up, the prices, you're facing so many different challenges. But I think moving forward, keeping those right people, which you kind of mentioned as well, like many companies are struggling to make sure keeping the right people in the company, and again carry on hiring right people to join Sarvin or Sabili, the company I'm currently working with. I think that's the kind of challenging part. And yeah, just making sure constantly working with the right group of people. I think that's the main
Yeah,
thing.
really, really key. Absolutely. And I'm keen to know what you'd say to anyone that was thinking of going into business right now.
Um, oh, plan ahead. Do not rush into it. Do not quit your job. Plan ahead. Write down, as I mentioned, like that. Let reminder you be your best friend, or notes on your phone. If you're not a kind of person to write on a piece of paper or a notebook, if you are, then brilliant. But if you're a kind of person that you're always on the go, just on your phone, open up your notes, open up your reminder, and write down what you need to start a company. And even with your design, run through them good few times. With your fabric, make sure if you're starting, for example, a fashion fabric, the top layer and the bottom layer of the fabric that you're sitting on top of each other, they are working well with each other. The thread works well with your fabric, the zips, everything. Like, look into every single detail of your design before going into manufacturing, or working with any kind of production company. Just the way I say, imagine you're working with someone has like a zero knowledge, or a kid, like write it like that. Like, this is a
Yeah,
kind of because what you have in your vision, what you have in your mind, unfortunately no one can read that. So it's best to just write down even the thread color, that even if it's like a black fabric, you would think, oh, it's a black fabric, so I don't need to write. You have to use a black thread. Yes, do it. And even, for example, another example I can give you, like a label. If you don't want your label to be showing on back of your top or t-shirt or whatever, you got to write it down. You want it to be so on your lining. Like, just a silly thing that you would
yeah,
think
yeah.
shouldn't be kind of important to write it down. Like, you're writing for a kid or someone with the zero knowledge. And sorry, what was your question? I forgot.
Oh, well, it was really, what was your advice to somebody that was thinking of going into
Yes, so
business?
yeah, kind of writing down everything from scratch. And if you can work with a mentor or a coach, that'll be able to kind of guide you for your initial steps, and kind of help you to register the company, how to do it, where to do it, what kind of, even like what kind of style of like a company that you should go with. Should you have to be limited company, like there's so many kind of other options. Just go, if you could get someone from beginning to be the mentor you and help you, even just a day in the week, I would definitely recommend doing that. And be patient, honestly, like and I believe anything that comes fast, it goes fast as well.
Yes,
So just put your time and effort in it, and just build the core, and then moving forward, just go from there.
brilliant, brilliant. And finally, what would be the best advice you could give an 18-year-old you if you could go back in time and do so, Sarvin?
Oh, I would maybe gain more experiences. Yeah. Even though I worked 1 year to that work internship with two different companies, as I mentioned previously, I worked even I did my internship for free. I didn't find any kind of problem with that. And then I did have jobs in different places, but it was not like fashion related. That's something I would recommend if you're, for example, wanting to open up a fashion business. Even with like low salary, it doesn't matter. Work in that company and gain more experiences, gain the contact, see the people, like networking. I cannot stress enough in fashion industry how important it is for you to network. Like, I am very fortunate that I'm working with this company. Many things that is just moving forward quite fast. It's because I have the contacts in. For
Yes,
example, we are currently starting to manufacture in Turkey, and I didn't need to kind of stress about it because I already have all the team ready there that I
yes,
can start. Or I do have a team in India as well. Or now, even after working with him, I just realized like how many good contacts I've got in UK as well. So we got like a big list of over 300 different company. that again we need to sit through, go through, see which one is right for which brand, depends on the pricing. So yes, I would say work in the industry that you want to start your company, and do not rush into it. So if you can work a year or two, just get in the relevant experiences, and ask them to give you more things to do even, for example, if your role is as a fashion buyer, like go and speak to the design department, go and speak to the production department, be friend with them, learn from them, gain the knowledge. These are all very, very important.
Brilliant.
So yeah, I would say that to my 18 and myself, like definitely I should have done more of that. So I would have not gone through every step in a lot of like harder way, and it would have been a lot more smoother.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, Sarvin, it's been fascinating talking to you, and I really appreciate you being very candid with your thoughts and about growing a business. And for anyone that's watching that would like to get in touch with you or your business, what would be the best way to do that?
They could get in touch with me. Pretty much I'm on all social medias or emails or LinkedIn. If you just type in Sarvin Clark, I'm sure you will find me. But
Brilliant,
yes, you can contact me by email. You can contact me. So my name's Sarvin, at sarvin.co.uk. And
brilliant.
that's my direct email that I usually give for mentorship. I do have a consulting email as well, but yeah, or even through LinkedIn, if they just type in Sarvin Clark, my name and my surname, which is Sarvin, and my surname is Clark without any, so Clark, and I'm happy to help.
Wonderful. Well, it'd be great to swing by in another 6 or 12 months and just see the next stages of what you're doing. You said you've got a new collection you're going to be bringing out towards Christmas, which would be wonderful. So, but for now, thank you so much for your time, Ted. It's been fascinating.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Brilliant. Thank you.